myself. I've been leaving you calls, but you leave me looking for reasons to stay. I run from memories thinking it might help, but the more I look into your eyes, I see something else. 'Cause I see the warning signs, and they make me turn at night to think that you go out without me here by your side. Now I see the warning signs. You should know I'm not the type to keep falling victim to your beauty and your lies. Now I see the warning signs. Now I see the warning signs.
Headshot, nice. Fist bumps go to the teammates. I wanna hear your go, go, go. I wanna see you falling fast. Win the round. Win the game. Fight a match. They play, you win.
Hello and welcome to the European Development Championship, brought to you by Gaming Malta, the home of gaming excellence. We have got an incredible matchup ahead as we watch Sangal attempts to topple Hellraisers. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath for the most part, and looking at that veto, which we'll get into in just a moment, looks like we may see a full 3 mapper. Of course, I'm your caster, Kramer 3, and I'm joined by M&J.
That's me. Yeah, it's an exciting one, and as we look at the veto come up, I mean, Inferno, Train. We saw the veto on HLTV like probably 2 minutes ago, and as soon as those 2 maps came up, you were like, wow, that's bold.
Yeah.
Because of course we saw both of those maps today and yesterday. We've seen both of these teams play on these maps and win their maps respectively. So it is interesting that we've kind of ended up on this. Of course, that third and final decider of Nuke 2. Yeah, I really don't know what to expect in this one. I think this is a really, really close matchup. It's going to be very, very difficult to decide a winner. And It should be an absolute bloodbath. I mean, we saw the momentum that Sangal must have right now off of the back of that crazy Dust 2 win that they took earlier on. And of course, Hellraisers, they've had a bit of a relaxed day. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Because, of course, Sangal, they're going to be warmed up. They're going to be feeling good off the back of that last series. Hellraisers, maybe not so much so. But, of course, they've had the opportunity to sit back, relax, and probably watch that Sangal game. So, maybe a little bit more insider knowledge on how Sangal are playing today. And as we see these parry match odds come up, this is, of course, only for map number 1, which is Inferno. And they are ever so slightly favoring Sangal. But very, very close.
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. That it's that favored or that close almost, because the reality is, right, Sangal, they did really well, especially on Dust 2. And I feel like Hellraisers, yesterday, that loss to Budapest 5, it was an upset. It isn't really the best Hellraisers could be playing. And we need to see if that's either the start of a slump for them, or if it's just a fluke victory by Budapest 5. Statistically speaking, Hellraisers should take this. Should. But Sangal, in terms of momentum, in terms of how the pace they've been dictating over the last couple of games, they genuinely could prove to upset right now. Of course, we look at the veto. Inferno the first map, Train the second, Nuke the decider. All 3 maps are maps that both sides play, start to finish. Yeah, Inferno, Sangal played it 21 times. Hellraiser played it 16. We look at Train. Hellraiser played it 20 times. Sangal played it 13, and of course, Nuke is 11 and 9. It really is.
Oh.
I think I may have had some internet issues there, but there we go, we're back. Well, what part did I go at?
Probably 5 seconds ago. You didn't miss too much.
Again, veto favors both teams. It means I'm expecting some very intense CS from either side.
Absolutely, yeah. I was just trying to look back and remember. So we're heading to Train, okay, this series. And Train is where Hellraisers lost 16-4 to Budapest 5 yesterday. And that was on Hellraiser's own pick. So the fact that we're going on to Train again today is kind of ridiculous. I mean, they had a really, really rough time on it. Maybe they can come back and try and sort of reset and say, okay, we'll come into this with our heads held a little bit higher. But it seems like a really bizarre pick to go into off of the back of yesterday. And then obviously that third and final decider being Nuke. It was one that Hellraisers played yesterday. They did win, but only very, very narrowly. They pulled back a massive comeback in their T side. They made it 16-13, and I think this is going to be a really interesting series. But what just really, really confuses me is that Train pick. I don't understand it at all.
Do you think this means that we could see a potential 2-0 for Sangal here?
We actually could, yeah. We actually could. In a series that theoretically they shouldn't be able to win at all, I think that there is a real chance that they could 2-0 this, because they're favored to win Inferno. And then as we go on to Train, even though it's Hellraiser's best map and they have a really high win percentage on it and whatnot, they crumbled yesterday. They were horrendous against Budapest 5. So it's just going to be interesting. And I think if Emor can fire on all cylinders like Torzi was yesterday, then maybe we could be in for a 2-0. We'll have to wait and see. As we crack things off in the pistol round, Sangal on this T side, they're on the attack first. And when they're looking to try and take some banana control, it's something that's been gifted to them. But if they do press any further onto this B site, they'll be met by a triangle of angry defenders.
Well, Sangal, the utility they go into this with will be 2 nades, 2 flashes, 2 smokes. It's enough to get onto the site, it's enough to maybe nade out of position, but will it be enough to topple this trifecta of players? Well, Imor good for 1 through the smoke, able to finish the job on Kalinka. There's no real response for the time being. It's a lot of whiffs on the player on New Box. Major then finished the job. Now Lime through the smoke, good for 1, but it's only off the backs of body shots. So these Major, low HP, able to get away though. Without a bomb plant though, it pulls time for a rotation, and well, more damage done through the smoke. Major just surviving. Engine course off as well. He's spotted, but he's not killed. Elsewhere, Paz on the flank, spotted by Anikas, but unable to find him as he goes 2-on-4.
Well, with a man now a 2-man advantage and the B bomb site gained, I'm not sure why Sangal haven't put this bomb down yet. I mean, they've got full control. They're able to just plant it. I don't know why they're delaying longer and longer. It doesn't matter, though. They find all the kills. Engine comes in with a little team kill onto Major right at the end there, but they do comfortably take the round. Again, I don't get why they didn't plant the bomb. Would have been an extra $400 for each player. However, they win the round comfortably. They'll be able to force into the next, and I think they'll be feeling pretty good off the back of that.
Yeah, Without a doubt. And for the time being, it's just going to be a bit of a force buy from Hellraisers, just to do the odd bit of damage wherever possible. The Eagles come out, there's no DIB to help out. But the reality is, we're looking at what's going to be Sangal holding on to a fairly decent force buy. This is their map pick. They want to open up this map as well as this series convincingly. And so they'll do so by, not a single risk is taken. It's only 2 Mac 10s. It's not a greedy buy. They're making sure that Hellraisers give them respect.
Well, that's what they're expecting right now. Whether or not they'll get it is another question, as the Deagles come out, the UMP on Lime. And quite the configuration towards A long. Not something you see very often. They're really, really prioritizing this defense. I think they're expecting Sangal to either go for an A hit, or maybe even try and go for this kind of B split where they wrap around towards CT. Just trying to keep all of these defenders on a fast rotation. But it does mean that short is completely open. If Sangal creep one player into the apartments or in that short area, that's it. They lose that area of the map. And it seems like Sangal are starting to disperse towards B as they go and retrieve the bomb. Hellraisers could do some damage with these pistols.
I fear for Sangal at this point because Hellraisers, they've got a nice little setup, and as the CT smoke goes down, it's hard to predict. Major, he spots out the first, though. The follow-up smoke is perfect, because it means that now Flourish, as he flashes through the smoke, is going to try and help out Problem, who is cowering towards the new box. Flash perfect. Problem looks for a second. Logic Man to trade, though, as he goes 4-on-3. Hellraisers may have to consider a 3-man save at this point, especially as that bomb goes down. They continue shifting forward. However, Lime through the smoke will catch out passes. Suddenly, it looks doable. 3-on-3, a lot of these players for Sangal are heavily tagged, and this could be the opening that Hellraisers need.
It would be a nice bounce back round. We've seen it so many times over the last couple of days. Here in Group B, it just seems to be everybody's little pocket strat. As the nades rain in, this is going to be their final attempt to get back into this bomb site, but a snappy headshot from Emor follows up with another, and that is pretty much job done. Anikez realizes that there is no equity left in this round, doesn't have a kit to work with either, so he'll fall right away, save that Kevlar and helmet and the P250, and allow Sangal onto 2. So, yeah, good round all in all. And then Emor right at the end there, just to confirm, just to make sure that they're able to tip it over the top with 2 final headshots.
Beautiful stuff by Sangal, and I understand the call to save by Anikez. He's actually able to save head armor 100%. There's no investment. He doesn't lose that, and it means that if one of his teammates chooses to maybe drop a deagle, maybe Problem, maybe he might choose to go for a deagle, he's actually going to have a fairly tanky buy. Instead, he opts to stay with the P250 as Hellraisers go for a complete eco. And it means for Sangal now, this is their chance to give these Mac 10s a chance to farm house. We see Logic Man and Engine ready to just bolt their way on forward. It's early Apps control, early nades towards Banana, and Apps just to keep these Hellraisers' aggression at bay.
But it doesn't seem they're getting too aggressive. Instead, it's actually the 4-man stack towards the A site. So Sangal do have to be careful. There's an opportunity to take some casualties here. But you're right. The Mac 10s, their job is to hunt right now, and they're happy to die. As long as they find 1 or 2 kills before doing so, they're more than happy to die in this round. They want to reinvest for the AKs in the next. And the nade comes out. Oh, just the wrong timing. Logic Man only good for 1 before Paz drops. And now actually a man advantage for Hellraisers. The Mac 10 is able to clean up some, and there we go. Much better response. Engine and Major picking up the 4 final kills, and Hellraisers not able to do any further damage, and the rifles actually retrieved. So they do only lose the 2 Mac 10s at the end of the day, and Sangal are able to get themselves onto 3 and have an opportunity to reinvest and go for these rifles.
Something I expect Sangal are going to be absolutely comfortable with as well. As, again, as you mentioned, they lose the back 10s, is what it is. They force up now. Logic Man's able to get that AWP out, Engine onto a more comfortable AK, and Hellraisers, they managed to buy fairly well. They've actually got a substantial amount of utility, and this is the advantage of taking that eco without buying anything, rather than falling into the force buy trap that we saw Skade fall into last series. But now Paz, he's got Flourish to worry about towards the Apps. He's actually going to aggress behind the molly, and oh my lord, just like that, it's 3 quick kills. The Hellraisers side absolutely collapses off the merits of Emor towards that B site, and as the bomb's retrieved, Sangal, just like that, at the snap of your fingers, they find a round.
And it has to be the safe call here from Hellraisers. They cannot justify going for the retake whatsoever. Anikez is going to hold on to that AWP. Lime, okay, he's found himself an AK that he can try and carry across. But Sangal, what a great start. They'll be able to get themselves onto 4 here, and as you say, just Emor bursting right through, finding those 2 opening kills. That's what we were talking about before. If he can have that kind of impact, then there's a real good chance that Sangal can take this series. And at the moment, he's absolutely having that impact.
Just shifting forward, trying to get behind these members. Lime, the initial man, to try and catch out anyone who dare come his way, as will Anikez. Emor able to catch out one. And Lime finishes the job, manages to trade, and more importantly, that's that AWP unable to be retrieved by Hellraisers. For now, Lime will head back down towards Apps to try and do just that, but I think Sangal are acutely aware of the thought process of Lime, and with that, Sangal, not only do they make it 4, but they make it 4 in a condition which makes Hellraisers' force buy very difficult.
It absolutely does. I mean, they're almost happy for Lime to save this AK because it might even bait Hellraisers into a bit of an ill-advised buy off the back of it. They have just about enough money to maybe justify going for some kind of investment. And as we see these parry match odds pop up, of course, this is off the back of Sangal taking 4 in a row. They're now quite heavy favorites here to take Inferno. And remember, if you do want to place a bet on this match or any other match in the EDC, make sure you click that banner down below. Head over to Paramatch, sign up, and get that special first-time deposit bonus.
It's perfect stuff by Sangal so far, and tell you what, if I was to bet on a team, it would be Sangal right now. I feel like Train is going to be a map they're going to be comfortable on, and right now, the fact they're setting the pace for Inferno makes me think that they're really going to be in a comfortable position. That being said, Lime, he shifts aggression down towards top mid. He's got a player behind him to worry about, though, in the form of Paz, who's just slowly but methodically clearing and paving his way on forward. Question is, does Lime have the timing? Just about does, as he will continue his aggression down towards second mid. Paz is eventually able to finish the job, but as Kalinka trades onto Major, it puts Sangal down a man.
Puts him down a man, and they have to go and retrieve this bomb. I mean, they have got enough time to work with here. If there was time pressure mounting, it would be almost impossible. But with a minute left, they can actually grab it, deploy that smoke, head over towards this A site. But there's only one man defending. And if they bait the sound cues, it seems like Kalinka's going to get aggressive on Banana. That's something the Engine's fully aware of. And Anikez with this for Mass. Oh, it needs to be cleared. They have to check Boiler. If he goes for the swing, he could end this right now. But timing, it doesn't work out for him. He re-aggresses to second middle on Flarich. He swings Library. Could get caught out here. There we go. There's the kill. Back into a 2-on-2. Plenty of time and space to get this bomb planted. And Sangal could actually snatch this round away.
And what's even better for Sangal is they seem more than wary of Anikez's presence, who, for the most part, is going to hold this angle from this position in Apps. Nays go down, Molly goes out. Engine just carrying to the other side of the smoke. It's comfortable position. Paz wary of Pit as well. And even though Sangal traps 2 players on site, we've seen how strong they can be in 2v2 situations against Skade. Let's see if they can repeat that success now. As Kalinka shifts on forward, Anikez's going to flash his way out from Apps. Nade goes down, it only tickles these members as Kalinka leads the charge. Anikez's good for 1. Paz, can he trade? We'll have to see. He's got out in the corner. Kalinka, a beautiful angle. And with that, it's going to be a swift round for Hellraisers. It's messy, but they come out on top nonetheless and find their first.
Yeah, it is definitely messy. I thought the nade on the site would actually finish off Engine, but doesn't quite do so. Nonetheless, Hellraisers are able to do the damage with the bullets instead, and, well, put their first on the board. They have still got to face up against another buy round here from Sangal. Of course, they have enough money to reinvest, but it will be their last reinvestment, more than likely. So if Hellraisers can pull this one off, they'll probably just be against a bit of a lackluster buy in the next, and they'll have a good opportunity to close this gap. So an important round for them to take, but with only the MP9 getting aggressive on Banana, oh, this is so messy. How is Problem still alive right now?
How is he still alive? Is he able to catch out too? He'll retrieve an AK as well. Major exchanging blows as the Glock comes out on top. He switches to the AK, making Lime just respect the decision for the most part. But little do Hellraisers know, Sangal's eyes are also set towards Long. As Lime more mollies pepper his position, he's forced away as Paz will shift forward towards Archway. However, Anikez, his AWP ready to ring true, and that it does. Paz falls, and Sang will go a man down yet again. Let's see if they can catch out any of these members as well. Anikez will continue his aggression, scoped in towards the top of mid. This time he's able to shut down Engine, all on Major, 1 versus 3. Anikez misses his follow-up shot, but Major still holding for him, will look to just finish the job.
Well, Major in a 1-on-3. It's definitely doable. He's got time. He's got the C4 on his back. He's got a smoke grenade to work with as he tiptoes back towards the B Banana. Lime in the corner, ready to take the shot, and it's just a nice little off angle. Nothing Major can do about that one. Hellraisers, a very nice follow-up round. They take it to 2. They keep 3 players alive. It's a nice response. They're very, very good Counter-Strike.
More importantly, they forced Sangal down to a very shaky buy of, Tech 9's here or there. There's the odd bit of utility on Engine, but actually they choose to force after time. So they are really looking to pull themselves back, but the risk of this force is that if they lose this, Hellraisers are going to tie things up 4-4, and they're going to re-establish that momentum.
Yeah, it's definitely a dangerous game to be playing, but they've got something to work with here. They've got a couple of rifles, one on Emor, one on Paz. Emor's been tagged up quite low just to start things off, and Paz really could have done with winning that engagement. With him dropping, that AK becomes essentially unretrievable, and they're really relying on this B-site push. Problem, the only man to hold it needs to stay alive for a few seconds longer, and the rotations haven't even started yet. They're expecting this to be some kind of fake, and it's absolutely not.
Lord.
Sangal are all the way through, and Problem needs to hold this line. He needs to find a couple of kills here.
And more just pressures him down and catches him out, and with that, it falls down to Lime to continue his push on forward and to catch out an odd man. Good for one, Immor to trade, and in a 2 versus 3 for the retake now. Hellraisers, they actually opt to go for this retake, which is optimistic to say the least, as Immor's able to cross back down towards Banana. And right now, Sangal are in such a good afterplant position. They've got players towards New Box. Hellraisers, they've got very little utility, and Anarchist, he's too busy worrying about behind him, sorry about the threat staring him down the eyes. As well, Immor shuts down Flarich. Anarchist just has to save.
It was a bit of a half-hearted, superficial retake, wasn't it? It was like they're kind of committing to it, but Anarchist doesn't want to get too close and risk losing the AWP, so instead he's just staying deep in CT, kind of itching his fingers to call for the save, and that's exactly what he does. Is able to carry across that AWP, takes down one with him before he falls, but Sangal, they bounce right back, they make it 5, and as we see that Hellcase banner pop up on our screen, make sure if you do want to head over to Hellcase, you use that code displayed right in front of you. They've got plenty to offer, loads of cases, loads of new content every week, so make sure you head over there. Round number 8 then, Kramer. And Hellraisers right down to the bottom of the barrel, pull out anything they can. Still that AWP carried across from Anarchist, but everybody else, limited utility, SMGs, and that's the AWP gone.
Beautiful opening as Immor. He's able to shut down one, and with that, Anarchist, that fall, it means that Hellraisers, because they were only committing 2 players towards Banana, they've got no way to retrieve that AWP. They've got no way to pull themselves back. And for Lime to shift out from Boiler, he's got he's got such a large amount of trouble he'll find himself in now, as Molly's just to keep his teammates away, forcing him into a bit of a one-and-done angle right now. This problem shuts down him, or Flarich able to respond, and with that, he goes 3 on 4. Lime shuts down Engine, 2 on 3, but luckily with B control, Sangal find themselves with an opening, but they've actually left the bomb down to T-Ramp, so this push now suddenly doesn't bear as much teeth as it once did. Now Hellraisers have time to rotate.
It gives Hellraisers some time to rotate. Major also needs to hold on to this site. If he can hold out for a few more seconds, then yeah, the C4 is able to wrap around. No one's there to deny it, and the smoke crossing CT means that Lime can't actually do any damage. So the bomb will be planted, but it means that Hellraisers, they're in position for a retake. 2 players coming in from Banana. Lime still from CT. As he creeps up, needs to be very, very careful of this graveyard position. Major right in the corner. They've played this beautifully. This is going to be very difficult for Hellraisers.
Especially now that Bob's been down, there's been a few slaps on this round as Major shuts down Kalinka. And with that, 2 on 2. They're still wary of a CT presence. Still don't know. It's actually already crossed.
Oh. Or Lime? No, he hasn't got time. I'm not even sure if he gets away then. No, he doesn't. Dies to the bomb. That's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate indeed. 6-2, Sangal take it then. It's Hellraisers. Yeah, they really don't have enough money to go for an investment here, especially considering they're on that CT side. Everything's a little bit more expensive. They are going to call for a tactical timeout. We'll probably see a couple of pistols come out, some Kevlar perhaps to back it up. But Sangal on a path to 7.
And with that path to 7, they're also on a path to success. You need to bear in mind that Train is a map that they can play. It's a map they're comfortable on, and it's a map they're more than happy to go ahead and actually pull things back against Hellraisers on as well. For now, as they move on forward, they go to their next buy, and more importantly, they look to refute Hellraisers' eco, and we see that in the form of Engine, who goes for a Max 10 rather than an AK. Sangal, their economy, it's not the greatest, and well, this eco here from Hellraisers is their chance to pull ahead and potentially push it ahead.
Well, it absolutely is. The Deagles, well, they're not doing anything so far. Lime dropping instantly, seconds into the round. That's as long as he lasts. Bit of a heavy presence towards this B site. Hellraisers, 3 players all stacked up. It leaves Anarkez all on his lonesome on the A site, and Sangal kind of know this. They found the opening pick towards this area of the map. They know that best case there's 2 players here. Likely, only the one. Hellraisers have been playing this 3-man B setup quite consistently, so Anarkez a lot of weight on his shoulders to try and pull this one off, and he's not going to be able to do anything. Gets a bullet straight to the head. That's him gonzo.
With that, Hellraisers, what good are they going to do on this eco? The reality is they just have to save that. They do just that. They hold on to their armor. You know, it can be upgraded for cheaper. It's economic corners that they're cutting here by saving these weapons. But the reality is Sangal at 7-2 up have got a successful half on their T side. Anything more is bonus. Anything more is scary for Hellraisers. Sangal really show why this is their map pick and why they should be revered when it comes to Inferno.
And Sangal are so confident right now, they're literally hunting these Deagles. I mean, this is a little bit foolish, considering they actually don't have any money. They can't really afford to lose these rifles, but yeah, as they press forward, they just want to farm the kills, and there we go. They're not even going to lose any of the rifles. Engine, he's the man that wants to hunt. He's the man that wants to rack up the cash with the MAC-10. He's good for 2. Problem, last man alive, spamming away with the Deagles, made his position known, and he is going to take a bullet to the head. 7-2, Sangal don't lose any members last round, so that works wonders for their economy. And Engine might even stick with this MAC-10, as, yeah, Sangal have just got bags of confidence right now.
Not only their bags of confidence, but they got bags of momentum. And this is the sort of momentum that if they can close out this map one side, similarly to how we saw them close out Dust 2, we might see a momentum that carries over to Train and gives them a potential very swift 2-map series. Because when you do play onto a veto that favors all teams for all maps, the momentum is everything and the confidence is everything. And right now, Sangal, they're oozing all of that.
They absolutely are. They seem to have carried it across from Dust 2. And I mean, to be fair, when you have a match at a 3rd map of a series where you win 16-2, I mean, you've got to just be filled with confidence. You're going to be taking every gunfight expecting to win it, and that's what they've been doing here on Inferno. This round, they don't have as much success, but off of the back of the A push, the B-bomb site's been completely given up. Kalinka, the only man, and that smoke's going to indicate there's nobody actually on the site. Swings around to coffins rather fast, and in the meantime, trades happen elsewhere, and it leaves it all down to Logic Man.
He wins that duel towards B, though, which secures a bomb plant, and it gives him a glimmer of hope. My only worry for him, though, he doesn't have much HP, and he's got 2 players to worry about, both of which tradable, both of which rifles in hand, and coming up from Banana. Looks like they're going to be able to do a bit of damage as they move to this off angle. Logic Man caught out in the open. He's finished off by Anarkez. It's a headshot at that, so it doesn't even matter about his HP. As Hellraisers, they make it 3. Whether or not this is those inklings of a comeback or the dying whispers of a death rattle, we'll have to see.
We absolutely will. It's not too far gone just yet. I mean, this could easily be a swing round, one of those turning points where they pull it right back. We see a close half, maybe even like something like an 8-7 or a 9-6. But Sangal still quite firmly in the lead, and our partners over at Parry Match agree. The odds quite heavily tilted in their favor, 1.35 to 3.05. And remember, folks, if you agree or maybe even disagree with those odds, maybe you fancy Hellraiser's chances of pulling this one back, then make sure you click that banner down below to head over to Parry Match, place your bets, and sign up to get that first-time special deposit bonus. Look at this aggression here from Hellraisers. This could actually work out quite nicely for them.
Well, it's perfectly for them. Logic Man low on HP, can't really risk re-aggressing. However, as Kalinka fires a major before the smoke blooms, suddenly he's not left with much of a choice. They back away towards T-Spawn to at least retrieve that bomb, and Hellraisers, they don't quite push down to fight him, but it may not matter. Sangal, they go 2 men down in what will turn out to be an execution towards B, but there's already 3 men on the defense waiting for them, Flarich being one of them, ready to catch out anyone who dare encroach on his position.
This is where it starts to get dangerous. Engine, as soon as he deploys the Molotov, Flarich knows exactly where he is. He can just spam through the little door hole. Engine gone. Logic Man and Paz, only 2 men remaining. And, well, I suppose they can't really save. Has pushes in, gets taken out by Anikes, leaves it all down to Logic Man. He's got an AWP, it's a 1 versus 5. He's only got 16 points of health. He does need to fall away and try and save here, but with so much time left to tick on the clock, I mean, there's 45 seconds to go. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get away with this.
You see Logic Man just threw it back and save, understandably so. And something that surprises me, actually, Sangal, considering how convincing these, like, 7-round win sprees been, they don't have much money. And Logic Man saving this AWP is going to be key to their success later on. That being said, though, Sangal, we've seen that even on pistol rounds, they can be effective. So as they go Tech 9s and armor around this AWP, should they choose to do so at least, we might see a bit of a fast round and a round in which Hellraisers might need to get ready for a bit of an ironclad defense.
It's something that could certainly work out. This B defense has been a little bit temperamental, so definitely an opportunity that comes through and actually works out for them. I mean, you got to remember, Sangal have lost back-to-back rounds now, and in even the rounds prior, they'd taken several casualties in a lot of them, and therefore, yeah, they've had to reinvest over and over and over again. Here in the 12th, we do actually see, yeah, full investment come out here from Sangal. Imor can go for the AK, we see a Galil, we see pistols on the other two, so not actually a terrible buy here, but certainly not as good as what Hellraisers have got to work with. So they do need to be hitting these headshots.
Yuto goes down, wants to get this banana control. This time, Imor caught out, but Logic Man able to trade. Good for one, good for two. And that's exactly what Sangal need. They refute that attack, and they do so with the saved rifle. Flarich, the low man, to try and hold this banana control. He's got rotation from line, but it may not be quick enough. As Major shifts on forward, backwards for some reason, as Flarich shuts him down. That's a bit confusing, but nonetheless, it goes 3-on-3 and will Sangal back away.
That is very bizarre. It seemed like he was playing for his teammates' flash, but no one deployed one. And as they push up towards top mid, Anikes with the AWP, good for one. There's the second on the flick. And this is where they just completely crumble. They don't have enough money for the utility. They find the opening picks, and then they just get mowed down. They walk straight into the blender, and Anikes is going to be more than happy to put himself above double digits. He's sitting 11-5 right now, doing sensational work with this AWP and closing this gap that's been initially established by the Turkish side.
Makes me fear for Sangal a little bit, because now Hellraisers are starting to get a bit of a grip on the game. They're actually starting to catch up to Sangal as they force them down to just Eagles. This is their chance to build some economy, and it's an economy that might last them to the end of the half, really, if they can make this round look convincing.
They certainly could. Once again, though, Anikes finding that opening pick. Of course, they are only against the pistols, so nothing too amazing. Maybe if he was up against an AWP, would have been a very different story, but he's still firing through. He's so versatile. Sangal just can't even work out where he's going to be peeking from because he just seems to be everywhere. 2-man advantage already. There's his third, and he's just flying around, looking for the ace, I suppose. No longer available as Flarich has found number 4. And it's all on Paz. Teammates have fallen like flies, and they've not done a single point of damage.
Tell you what, Anikes is looking scary right now. He has woken up and, well, now he's got this AWP in his hands. He's wielding it like a saber, just smiting down anyone who dare peek into him. Even when he's taking 3-on-1 peeks, he's still for some reason coming out on top. Paz, he'll just shift forward. He's got no choice but to just pray he can take an aim duel, and, well, Flarich, he'll finish the job. Hellraisers, they separate the differential to only 1 now, as Sangal, they go to their next buy for the penultimate round of this first half in an attempt to topple Hellraisers.
Well, it's rough. It was it 7-0 or 7-1?
7-1 at some point.
7-1 at one point. I think that's the most one-sided we've seen it.
It's reverse Hellraisers from when they were on train yesterday.
Yeah, actually is. It actually is. And Hellraisers, they've managed to pull it all the way back. And as I said before, when it went 7-2, that was the turning point. Now they're looking for an 8-7 half. And at this point, it could even be in their favor. Beautiful opening kill there from Problem. The Molotov does trade out Kalinka. A bit of a refrag coming through as Sangal start to funnel into this B banana. But they've got Flarich and Lime to handle. And oh, look at that. Perfectly coordinated peek. Lime finds one more.
As he backs away, Logic Man will look to shift forward as well. And as he approaches Lime to the other side of the smoke, he'll try to catch out these members and, well, Major hold firm for the time being. Not quite able to do so yet, but Logic Man comes out on top, and now there's an opening, but not much of one. They need the rotation to come through from Hellraisers. Flarich good for one, and right now his survival is pivotal to the success of the round. as his teammate joins him. Anika scopes on him, ready to catch out anyone who comes through the smoke, and Major on low HP can't consider this fight too heavily. The molly should land on the planter. That's going to do so much damage to Engine, who's eventually forced away, but these HPs, these remaining members, isn't much.
Well, luckily for him, that bomb actually goes down before he has to fall off of it. That secondary kill leaves it all down to Problem. A 2-on-1. Both players are low. Very, very doable. But there's a crossfire in place right now. He has to break it. Needs to find this first kill before he can take any kind of engagement. And look how disciplined this is. Hiding in the corners. There's so many boxes to clear. And as soon as he jumps up, Engine swings and deals the fatal blow. 8-6. Sangal recover that round beautifully. And they do manage to clutch things up. Engine with a couple of nice kills at the end there to do the job. But Hellraisers, they have still got plenty of cash to go for another full buy here. We actually see the double AWP setup come out. And let's see if they can make this 7. And to be honest, after being 7-1 down, they'll be more than happy with an 8-7 half, even if they're on the tail end of it.
You need to remember as well, for Hellraisers, they're more successful on their T side than they are on their CT side. As for Sangal, they are significantly better on their T side than they are their CT. So once this half switch comes through, it's actually going to be interesting to see how these teams fare, because Sangal, they go to their least favored side, Hellraisers go to their significantly favored side. We'll have to see if either of these teams can come out on top. Kalinka, he misses that AWP shot, and that will reveal a double AWP setup for Hellraisers. And as Sangal looks to move out and head back down towards mid, see if Hellraisers can fare.
Sangal have got tons of control right now. You see, they're fully in control of Banana. They've got mid. They've got the full apartments control. Paz hasn't cleared the hard corner, but he's pretty much got all of it. And as they start to group towards this A-bomb site, they know that there's no flank potential here from Banana, or at least not yet. And they know that they can try and bombard this one. 2 AWPs to try and defend the line as they continue to press through. And it kind of comes down to Flaridge and Pit here to delay this one. Oh, nice shot from Anikez.
It's a beautiful opening, and well, right now that will trigger a bit of a rotation, but right now it's going to be a mass exodus of Sangal players as they sprint their way back up from Banana, heading towards the B site, and Hellraisers, they're cued into the fact this is going to be a swift push. They deploy a bit of utility just to hold for the time being. Kalinka, he'll see the players coming his way, he'll hit the nice shot onto the Engine there as a follow-up push comes through. Problem good for one, he's going to try to smash through, so he tries to find one more. Immortal's taking so much damage, but he's unable to kill him though, as the last 2 members from Sangal are going to attempt to just go through this smoke.
No, well, it's not going to be very successful whatsoever. Emor left on his lonesome, AWP, and only 5 points of health to work with. And as the smoke dissipates, I can't imagine he'll be alive too much longer. Throws his guns and accepts his fate as the half's over, and it's 8-7. So Hellraisers, they'll be pretty happy with that, especially considering, yeah, they were, in fact, it was 7-2. They were 7-2 down, and then, yeah, they managed to make it 7-3, get a little string of 4 in a row, and then found round number 15. So yeah, they'll be more than happy with that. If they can follow it up with a bomb plant too, then they'll be thriving. And as we see these parry match odds come up, for a second there, they were absolutely deadlocked. They couldn't be closer. And then we see them shift, of course, those live odds, and actually go into Hellraiser's favor for the first time this map. Remember, if you do want to place a bet on this match or any other maps in the EDC, make sure you click on that banner below, head over to Paramatch and get that first time deposit special bonus.
Aggression comes out, they force his players away, and that is a fairly nice little opening. As for now, follow-up push goes through. Sangal trying to make their way, or trying to defend their way, over towards B as Hellraisers. They stack up, they get ready for an execution, but Sangal have read it fairly well as Hellraisers. Flash goes out, swing goes through. Immort towards CT, good for 1. He'll reaggress, he makes it 2. He looks to make it 3, but before Problem and Anikas respond in unison, the Logic Man's caught out. The cascadement of frags go in favor of Hellraisers as it goes 2-on-3. Flaridge ready for the aggression of Paz. Will he be able to shut it down? Just a moment, he's wary of the presence. Doesn't quite know for sure though. And oh, that's a whiff and a half. Paz comes out on top, and now as it goes 2-on-2, this is more than doable for those over on Sangal.
It absolutely is. The USP is creeping in closer and closer, but Problem just jiggling with the Glock, baiting Major into the position, finds the headshot. Paz on his lonesome, 2-on-1, Kit on the floor next to him, so very doable if he can hit the headshots, but he's juggling between the two, has to swap out to a different pistol. How on earth is he still alive right now? Hits the first, spamming away onto the second, gets Anakin so low. That came incredibly close, but wasn't quite enough. It shouldn't have been. Far too close for comfort.
Hellraisers, they're going to let out a collective sigh of relief after that round as they move on to their next buy. And again, they're taking no prisoners with it. It's rifles round the board, only a single max 10 on Kalinka. As Sangal, they look to force up. Double scouts come out, Deagles to accompany it. And, well, the body shots and that damage that you get from these body shots will stack up. So Hellraisers definitely need to be careful of Sangal. If they can find this conversion, it's going to remain neck and neck for a good while.
Oh. That is insane. Beautiful bit of initiative there to go for the boost above the wall. And then even more beautiful, I think, yeah, that definitely works.
Yeah.
Aim there from Emor to just go, pop, see ya, head gone, popped. Like a spot.
He's
Or a
wiped.
balloon. Yeah.
It's just gone. Well, I think that's going to be pretty tough for Sangal to try and follow up, but for now, Hellraisers, they go for a push up towards long. They go for the wrap, and, well, Immor tags down yet another, but Anikez, his AK rings true. Pass towards Pit right now. His damage is going to be pivotal to the success of Sangal, and, well, he rings out a few shots. They don't land. Kalinka midair will execute that play. He spots out another one towards long. He's tagged up by Logic Man, but the kill doesn't come through. Instead, as the smoke goes down, it's going to be down to Sangal to try and retake right now in a 3-on-4, but a lot of these players are so low on HP. Now almost all of these players are low on HP as Problem is able to take down Engine. It's on Major's flank from Apps to try and do a bit. Anikez responds. Logic Man backs away to save. As Hellraisers hit 9, Sangal go down to an eco.
Well, that's a bit of a tough pill to swallow, especially after that opening pick, then the read that it was actually going to be A. They went for the early rotation. They were able to do a lot of tag damage. You see right now, 4 players alive. Bearing in mind this was a Deagle buyer from Sangal. They're all one hits. Yeah, you could spam into the body, 1 bullet into any of those 3 players, and it would be absolutely deadly. So unfortunate they weren't able to come out on top, but Hellraisers, considering they were 7-2 down, they've brought it all the way back. They're winning 9-8 at this point, and this is a pretty sensational comeback, pretty sensational showing.
I worry for those over at Sangal because the reality is this is Hellraisers. This is Sangal's map pick. If they don't win this, they're going to move on to Hellraiser's home territory of Train. I call it home territory with, you know, kind of quotation marks over it because we did see them get decimated by Budapest 5 yesterday. But Budapest 5 are known for being good on Train and Nuke. So the reality is, I think that this could be a bit of a skewered statistic. As Problem shuts down Major, nades go out, Immor on the close angle, he'll be fitting.
What an absolute spam away. I mean, this should just be a freebie for Hellraisers right now. Just up against these pistols, Logic Man the only one with a scout, and yeah, this is just a complete clean sweep. If they can find all the kills without taking too much damage at this point, then they will be in a very, very healthy, comfortable position. Even if they can get some extra cash with the C4 going down too, they'll be very happy.
Logic Man swarmed and killed as Hellraisers come out on top, and as they lead 10-8, Sangal move into what will be a bit of a shaky buy. Again, they can buy at that. We just see M4s come out. There's the AWP on Logic Man. But the utility is not as much as it could be, but it should be enough to at least hold Hellraisers at bay for the time being. Elsewhere, Hellraisers, their buy, it's still a bit of a bonus. We see Khalil's on Kalinka, the rest on AKs. There's enough bank on them to last them if they lose this one, so it's nothing too substantial. But the reality is, Sangal, if they falter here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
They absolutely will be. I mean, they have kind of thrown this one away a little bit, and we've seen previously as well, as soon as they start to lose that momentum, that's where they really, really struggle. Logic Man, nice opening kill. Lime finds one back in the meantime, though. That's Emor gone. That's a lot of firepower now disposed from the server. And as Major goes for a very quick rotation towards this B site, they've kind of given it up, and he has to try and burst around this smoke to make something happen. Playing anti-flash, crossing his fingers, hoping for the best as they spam away. He does some spam damage of his own, and he's good for 2 before he falls.
Few shots are out either way as Anikez shuts down Logic Man. It goes 2-on-2, but as the plant goes down, this hybrid angle from Anikez, it's a miracle Engine hasn't died right now, but for some reason Anikez, he'll leave him in place, and with that, it goes 2-on-2. Push comes out from Banana in the form of Paz. Anikez finishes the job, all on Engine with just 19 HP, and looks like Anikez will look to finish the job. Beautiful round by him. It's messy, but he recovers well, and right now Anikez is instrumental to the success of Sangal.
Absolutely. He's doing a Torsey. He's doing a Torsey, Kremer. He's 24-6. He's playing out of his mind right now. And Sangal, they just can't seem to contend with it whatsoever. Despite Major's valiant attempt, he found himself 2 kills. They had a man advantage. The rotation was already there. And they just crumbled. Anikez found himself a 3k. I think he might have even found a 4th at the very end. I mean, just incredible stuff. 11-8. They press further and further. And Sangal just down to a half buy once again. This should be a freebie here for Hellraisers. They can get themselves onto 12. And that's where things start to get quite dangerous. Remember, this is Sangal's map pick. Now, we talked about the fact that the second map, which is Hellraiser's pick, is Train. And it's a little bit of a questionable one after yesterday's performance. But they must have picked it for a reason. So for them to be able to snatch away their opponent's map pick does kind of tilt towards maybe a 2-0 going to Hellraisers here. We'll have to wait and see.
Sangal spread out in a bit of a default. Let's just commit for the time being to catch out the odd member wherever possible. As for the time being, smokes go out and Sangal look to hold. It's a smoke that goes down towards top mid, and Hellraisers, as they bow their way out towards this position, Kalinka will look to catch out the odd member again. Sangal, with just these pistols, are going to pray Hellraisers run into them. They don't have much other choice, really, because with a limited utility, they can't risk aggression. 35 seconds left, and now things look a bit more positive for them. Kalinka slowly shifting forward, and as the set piece goes down, Sangal look to hold.
Well, they've got a trio of a defense here on this A-bomb site. In fact, they've got 4 of them. 2 players stacked up, one on top of the balcony, one in mini pit, but they are crumbling, and even the smoke providing some cover isn't enough. They're falling like flies, all of the headshots coming through. Problem with 2. There's a third right through the smoke. An absolute monster here in round number 20. An Engine with only 16 points of health and a 5-7 and some Kevlar on his back is going to fall right away, and hope that maybe he can try and retrieve that fallen rifle. I think it's in no man's land, so maybe just trying to save what he has.
The fact that Hellraisers ran into a full stack and came out on top is just unbelievable. That is truly so strong. And for Sangal to only have Engine surviving with a 5-7 feels like a bit of a kick to the teeth, considering they only killed 1 member after a 4-man stack failed to hardly damage the rest. Again, Hellraisers, they make it 12. Sangal goes to their next spy, but if they falter here, 13 and 14 for Hellraisers, they're going to be on the cusp of victory, or Sangal can even bring out their second substantial buy.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. When you go for a force buy and you go for a stack, you got that fingers crossed for that 50-50 that your opponents walk into it. And then when they do, you're expecting to do at least damage. And they just didn't. Problem tore right through them. And off of the back of it, we see those odds from our partners over at Parry Match tilting further and further into Hellraiser's favor. They are the hot favorites right now. Everybody at home seems to expect them to finish off this first map. And remember, if you want to place a bet on them or Sangal or any other match here in the EDC, then make sure you click on that banner below to head over to Parry Match and get that first time bonus deposit.
Sangals, they do a bit of early damage wherever possible. They try to catch out some of these members, as Lime will be on down fairly low, but it's nothing substantial. They're more through the smoke trying to do a bit more damage, but nothing comes into fruition just yet. Instead, Hellraisers, realizing they're against a full buy, they go very passive. They take their time with their attacks, and they give Sangal the respect they deserve, and that's going to play perfectly for Hellraisers at the moment as they look to congregate towards the top of mid and then make their way forward towards a execution.
That seems to be the game plan right now. Once again, Sangal, they've got 3 players stacked up here. And they're in a nice configuration. They've got these crossfires in play. And as soon as Hellraisers deploy their utility, I think Sangal entertained the idea of maybe rotating Major over. Then they realize that no one's committed to it just yet. And I think Logic Man's probably saying, no, stay where you are. No one's actually pushed through brackets. It's probably going to be a B hit. And that's what they're anticipating right here. Major playing anti-flash on the other side of the smoke. This could be super dangerous, Kremer.
Right now, Major is the make or break for this round. Players go through. He's good for 1, 2, and 3. Just like that. That's all he needed to find. And he comes out on top. Kalinka's Deagle rings true for 1 and 2 as Anika is able to find yet another. Now, suddenly, it's a spout of brilliance from Major and a spout of even more significance from Hellraisers to tie things up, put it down to a 2v2. Flash came from Banana. Aggression comes out from Engine, puts it all down to Kalinka, alone with 2 players to find.
What a roller coaster of a round so far, and if Kalinka can pull it off, then it becomes even more. spots out the final man with the AWP, connects the shot, but can't quite finish off the job. Engine with the M4 right through the corner of the coffins. 10 HP to spare. That is unbelievable.
That is so damn close. And Engine, he gets away with it. He'll get that defuse. He'll keep Sangal in the game for now. But I thought the round was over at Major Spray down there. The fact that Anika's in Kalinka, the wombo combo to just bring it back in unison. Kalinka just keep showing presence. Absolutely perfect stuff by him. And with that, let's see just how Sangal fare moving ahead as they call for a technical pause real quick as one of our players disconnect. So hopefully by the time they return, we'll be able to see a bit more action as Logic Man should be back soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Just quick technical pause should be resolved momentarily. It's unfortunate there because when it's in that 2-on-2 situation, Anikez, he tries to get into dark, but with no smoke cover or anything like that, it's ambitious to just kind of try and b-hop into the post plant, and it doesn't work out for him at all. Had he have stuck on his position, maybe just scoped into CT or Banana, there was a real opportunity for Hellraisers to take that round. Instead, Sangal, they're able to close that gap just that little bit. They don't have tons of money to work with, but there's enough to pull out a proper buy here, and Hellraisers, they need to make sure that they bounce back.
What I would love to see from Hellraisers is a potential fast play. It's probably towards A, just because while Sangal, their buy is shaky, they don't have any money whatsoever. If Hellraisers can just go ahead, stomp a few Sangal players into the ground, they win a round. Also, if they don't, oh well, they can rebuy anyway. It just keeps that Sangal money low. And the reality is, Immel's only down to an MP9. I think Paz needs a weapon dropped to him as well. So, for the most part, something fast from Hellraisers could be perfect.
It absolutely could be. You just have to make sure that it's a rush, but it's a rush with a little bit of coordination. You want to make sure you use those flashbangs and utilize everything you can. And that's something that Hellraisers have got right now. They've got all of the utility. They'll have all the AKs. Anikez will have an AWP. And he'll actually have Logic Man to contend with too. And many of these rounds, Sangal haven't had an AWP to contend with him. So Anikez has just been able to run around and take duels with rifles. Now Logic Man going for this mid pick potentially. No, I think he realizes he's a little bit too late. He missed the B hop. So instead, actually falls away to long. And Hellraisers in the meantime, they're going to take apartments control.
As they slowly shift on forward, Paz will be the man to spot them out. Problem, rings out a few shots, unable to catch him out though, will mean he drops down to pits. And with that, Hellraisers, they just slowly start building map control. Again, taking their time, slowly trying to catch out the odd member. And as smokes go down towards this site, looks like Hellraisers might just commit to a full take onto this A position. However, Sangal with banana control now go for the 4-man stack, and for Hellraisers, that's got to be something to fear.
Absolutely has to be. As these smokes start to rain over too, Logic Man, his position becomes a little bit redundant, spamming through this smoke, hoping that he can catch out a lingering man. Instead, it's Problem pushing right through a real messy spray, but somehow a stray bullet hits Major in the head. Now the man advantage for them to work with. They know exactly where Logic Man is. It is burning alive, hits the quick flick. That's Problem gone. Trade converted. Logic Man needs to stay alive for a few seconds longer, has to continue to defend this A bomb site as his teammates are falling.
Kalinka responds, and well, more damage done either way. Logic Man comes out on top. Logic Man in a 1 versus 2, tries to swing wide. He's caught out by Lime. Hellraisers, they make it 13, and for Sangal, this has definitely got to be something to worry about. Their buy is shaky, and unfortunately for Hellraisers, this is their chance to just barrel ahead and look to really drive it home.
Whoa. I mean, that's pretty crazy. That was a really, really back and forth round. I thought Logic Man might have had it in the tank to pull off something sensational there. And to be fair, he did. He found 3 kills. Wasn't able to do any more than that, though. And with just the pistols to work with, a scout on Logic Man, they try and get aggressive. This could work out for them if Hellraisers do start to work their way towards the A apartments. Paz could be very dangerous, but instead they creep towards B, and there's only Engine patiently waiting with a smoke in hand, and I don't think that'll be enough to keep the attackers out.
I completely agree with you. Hellraisers, they look to do the odd bit of damage, and, well, Sangal, they dropped that smoke to try and delay a push, but let's see what good it does. He's on the angle. He tries to catch him out completely blind. He's forced forward. Line finishes the job, and with that, it's going to Immel. Again, trying to get through the smoke, trying to do damage. The flash is perfect, but it only takes 1 to finish the job, that being in the form of Kalinka. With that, I think this is just going to be a formality. Hellraisers, they hit 14. Sangal, they really get in a lot of trouble right now as they try to just find anything, something to make it a bit more doable for them. I doubt they will. It's all on Major, carrying towards Ruins in a 1 versus 5.
As that bomb goes down, Hellraisers, they're able to establish the post plants, get all of the utility deployed, and completely deny Sangal at the door on the retake. There's absolutely no opportunity back in. No kills found from the Turkish side, and leaves it all down to Major to maybe try and do a little bit of damage. Round certainly not in contention. He doesn't have a kit to work with either, so the bomb's certainly too far gone. Just hoping that he can maybe snatch away a rifle, do a little bit of damage before the end, and it's not going to happen. Problem deals a headshot, and everybody here from Hellraisers staying alive, going into round number 24, sorry, with their heads held high as they sit on 14 rounds and look to get to match point.
It's so scary for those over at Sangal, and well, right now there's buy for them, it's do or die, but even then they don't have full utility. It's not the best buy they can muster. The reality is, as they look to catch out the odd member, util goes down, it forces them away, and for now, Anikes will slowly shift forward looking for this opening.
No one peeking him just yet. Nice little configuration from Sangal. Last time we saw them go for this, it didn't actually work out at all, but we'll have to wait and see as Hellraisers creep into the apartments. If they waterfall out of apartments right now, there's actually no one to contend with it. There's only Major that's just worked his way round onto the site, and this is where it becomes really dangerous. Major landing the first headshot, though, and with Engine and Logic Man firing through, this has been a complete shutdown from Sangal.
And they've needed it. They've desperately needed it, and thank God it came, because right now Major flashed him out of position. He'll try to catch out Flourish, but the molly prevents Lime from trading him effectively. As more util goes out either way. Lime good for 1. Major's trade onto 1. Flourish in a 1 versus 4. Major to finish the job. Sangal to hit double digits as well as their 10th as they force Hellraisers into a very tough position.
And that round really does fall on the shoulders of Major. A swift rotation and a 3k to keep the attackers out is exactly what the doctor ordered. And as you say, Sangal puts them onto double digits and keeps this one possible. Of course, they're up against another buy here. Even if they win this round, they'll be up against one more full investment from Hellraisers. If they can win both of those, that's where I start to fancy their chances. That's where I think that it's genuinely possible for them to win Inferno.
It's going to be a early push from Hellraisers, getting out of control. Kalinka caught out by Paz. That's going to force them away. Follow-up push comes through. Probably trying to spam in towards that. Was trying to just catch out an initial member. He can't do that. And now with Hellraisers down to 4 players, this gives Sangal that momentum to really pull on ahead. Immor waiting for the jump spot towards B. This double up setup hasn't quite been revealed, but it may do in just a moment. As a flash sails over, early aggression showed. Immor misses his shot. Uncharacteristic for Immor as Lime comes out on top. And now Major. He had a great game last round. How does he do here? Obviously not very well, as it's a rampage by Lime. Engine eventually lets finish the job, but it was all an elaborate ruse. It was all a fabrication, as Hellraisers, they deployed that smoke towards A to sell the double fake before turning their attention down towards B.
An Engine playing this one really, really deep. I don't even think he can hear the footsteps at this point. Finally, here's the utility deployed. That confirms to him that it is going to be a B hit, but he's just too late to the party. Spamming away through the smoke, can't get anything done. And realistically, needs to try and deny this plant. Instead, takes a nade to the face. Anikes will tap in the digits as Engine calls in for the reinforcements. And it's going to be a 3-on-3 retake. They've got some utility to work with. But Hellraisers, well, they've got that C4 planted and the time pressure now mounting.
Nade is perfect by Paz onto Anikes there. Problem responds, though, and for Flourish, if he can shut down Engine before he can get an angle, that's going to leave him in an awful position. However, as Engine responds, it's all on Problem now. 1 versus 2. Spots out the first, tries to spam down the second. It's messy, but he picks up the orb now. As Logic Man looks to hold the angle and tap that bomb once more. Problem realizing it's going to be tapped, and he waits for Logic Man. Logic Man just being toyed with at this point. As Problem now swings wide, will finish the job. Hellraisers, they hit 15. A beautiful display of skill there as they force Sangal down.
That's perfectly played from Problem too, and it just shows the brains and the mind games on some of these players. Problem jiggling, knowing that he's not actually holding the defuse. It's just the taps. It's just to try and bait out the peak. And then when it finally comes down to it and he's actually holding the defuse, Problem knows exactly what Logic Man's up to and he's able to swing out and deny it. You've got that timer in your head and you know just when to peak. And at this kind of level, these players have it down to the T. Round number 26 could be the final here if Hellraisers can convert it. They've got a bit of a lackluster buy to face up against. But Sangal, they've still got the rifles. They've still got that AWP on Emor. They're just lacking on utility a little bit. And Paz, of course, has been demoted down to that MP9.
Something to highlight as well. If you guys want a pro little tip, the second you hear someone tap a bomb, count to 4, then swing. Just so saying it works. Absolutely recommend it. But elsewhere, we're going to see a few shots ring out either way. It's a man advantage now, evened out though as Fnatic finds the Logic Man. And with that, he goes 4-on-4 with Hellraisers looking to show presence towards the top of mid. Right now, Paz in towards the cubby hole. Will look to try and respond, but for the most part, it'll be a tough ask. Paz, he catches out the first, he turns around, finds the second, Flaresh to trade, and with that, it goes for a 2-on-1 for the site, but 3-on-2 overall, as Flaresh will dive his way in towards Arch to try and catch out a rotation. He'll hear the rotation of Major. Does he go for the timing? That he does. Catches him out, and with that, it leaves Engine in a lot of trouble.
How this round has flipped on its head, Sangal. They had this in the bag. Paz found a 3K. I thought that was all said and done, and no. Hellraisers have clawed it right back. Engine's got perfect position right now. And Anarkez, he doesn't seem to be aware of it whatsoever. He'll hit all of the scopes. Engine can go for the trigger discipline. There we go. Fires the shot. That's the C4 down. And with the incendiary dropping on it, 15 seconds on this clock, there's surely no chance for Flaresh. Beautiful headshot in the meantime. Might just about have enough time to retrieve this bomb. As he smokes it, darts onto the site. I don't think he's got it. Oh, no, he doesn't.
So
okay,
close.
Wow, that literally came down to one tick.
That was horrifically close. That is so close, but it may not matter as now Sangal, they make it 11. I'll tell you what, Josh, I fear that for Sangal, the damage has already been done. I don't think they get overtime here. I think they're just trying to mitigate damage already done to them. As Hellraisers, they go for a bit of an eco. We see an AK on Flaresh, so hopefully he'll look to try and open things up while his teammates just follow in suit. But for now, Sangal, this could be a chance for some economy.
Well, of course, Flaresh stayed alive last round. He was timed out by the clock, so still with that AK to work with, and he drops instantly, looking to try and find an opener in mid. Can't quite do so. The AK gets passed down to Lime, who has actually got some Kevlar to work with. But Logic Man up close and personal, ready to spray away onto some unarmored Glocks, and he'll be more than happy to do so. There's 2. Can't quite convert on the third as Lime trades it. Oh, gets another as well in the meantime. So nice bit of damage done, but not much more than that. As Hellraisers pretty much give up that round in order to go for the probable full investment here. I'm not too sure. Anarkez can't buy an AWP. Instead, oh, he's down to the Galil. That's not fun.
As of right now, Hellraisers, as you mentioned, with Anarkez going down to a Galil, their economy, it has seen better days. And this means that Sangal have a window of opportunity. Whether or not they can exploit it, we'll have to see. As Engine instantly dinked to start his round. And well, with that, Sangal look like they're going to be in a perfect position to try and nullify Hellraisers right now. Spam through the smoke as Immor finds Lime. And well, with that, Hellraisers, they're forced on back. They're forced to commit another member of their default down towards Banana, prevent too ambitious of a push, as they continue to pepper their positions on mid.
It's such a shame that the only man that connects with the dink is Anarkez, who's got the Galil. Everybody else had an AK. That would have been a kill if anyone else had tapped that head. But Anarkez does upgrade to that AK-47 as Lime drops. And in the meantime, Hellraisers wrapping right around to B. We haven't seen them go for this yet. Major fully aware of it, though. He can hear all the footsteps, and he pounces out at the right moment. 5v2, as Problem is able to trade it back out, retrieve that bomb, and well, now he's got a tricky decision to make, and it needs to fight his way out of this corner. So far, doing quite a good job of it, but still a 3 versus 2, and Problem's low and stuck in a very sticky situation.
Passes on a very fast flank as well, and catch out Kalinka as he'll try to ring out a few shots. Guy just can't quite get the angle on him as the push comes through. The flank will land, and so the reality is Immor's in a tough position. Eventually, Paz will strike, and with that, Problem finds the first. He knows the second's there as Paz has revealed his location, but that smoke is absolutely perfect. Problem tries to go through it, but Paz will just finish the job. Sangal, they hit 13. More importantly, they reset Hellraiser's economy as they really start pulling ahead now.
They absolutely do. I mean, that was an incredible round from Problem. We've seen him pull off a couple of those where he'll just get some crazy multi-kill. We saw him get 3 there, keep that one, keeping it potentially close. You kind of do realize that there's a glimmer of hope there, but Hellraisers having to drop down to an eco now certainly can't justify buying into this one. Allows Sangal on to 14. So next round, Sangal will be playing for overtime or bust, and Hellraisers, well, it will be their last chance to close this one out in regulation. So we'll be seeing a potential overtime when, to be honest, 5 rounds ago, I really wouldn't have expected it.
And tell you what, as Hellraisers look to just gather up towards apps, Sangal have already cleared top mid. They know exactly where Hellraisers are coming from. They know exactly where this aggression will be. And Sangal is just going to be an absolute meat grinder as Hellraisers attempt to pull ahead. It's not going to be able to do much, though. Any second now, we'll see the burst come through, and Sangal find themselves in a comfortable 14th, unless something goes horrifically wrong.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Hellraisers pull off this round with just the pistols. That would be a real slap in the face, wouldn't it? But Sangal, they should be able to comfortably dispose of this. They've got 5 rifles in hand, 3 M4s, 2 AKs. No AWP, which is interesting. But to be honest, in a round like this, you don't even want an AWP. They've got the right tools for the job, and they've got some util to work with too. 45 seconds left on this clock as Hellraisers ticked it down further and further. And with Sangal with the banana control, they know it's going to be an A hit, so they're all set up and ready for it.
Matches go out Engine. He just looks to farm a bit of cash, as will Paz. Line eventually will find Engines. There's an opening. As Line then finds Logic Man. Suddenly, this is scary. It's Paz now towards Pit. He's low on HP. Anikes finishes the job. Goes into a 2-on-2. That plant looks to go down. Anikes and Pit right now, a position that actually works really, really well for him. He'll retrieve an AK as well. Wary of players are going to push straight into him. As Major and Immel, they don't actually have much util at all. As Major, did he spot Anikes? I know Anikes spotted him. As Anikes finds one, it's all on Major now. 1 versus 2. That's going to get ecoed.
What a way to end it if they do. Major, this is such a big clutch for to pick up. Anikes hasn't got any Kevlar, so this is a very winnable fight, but he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, takes the dig through the corner of the box and finds the kill, but the Glock finishes him off. Flourish, unbelievable.
star. When you look up in the night, burning through the atmosphere, brighter than the city lights. I will be your satellite. You don't have to say goodbye. I can hear your SOS. I can see you from the sky. I can hear your SOS.
Headshot, nice. Fist bombs go to the teammates.
I wanna hear your go, go, go. I wanna see you rolling fast. Win the round. Win the game.
Pretty much. They play, you win.
Hello and welcome to the European Development Championship, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. We have just seen Hellraisers topple Sangal on their map pick of Inferno 1613, having ecoed them to take it over the line. We're now moving on to the second map, a Train, where both teams pretty much neck and neck on win percentage, look to try and, well, in Sangal's case, take it to a game 3, in Hellraiser's case, close out the series and join Budapest 5, advancing out of Group B.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a really exciting one too. Honestly, I couldn't tell you who's going to win Train. We talked about the fact that Hellraisers, of course, it was their pick yesterday. That went horribly wrong for them, but historically they have a great win rate on it, and so does Sangal. So it should be a close map. We saw Inferno come incredibly close, going Hellraisers' way. It seemed that whilst the scoreline was very close, Hellraisers kind of took control in so many scenarios. We saw Problem absolutely popping off several rounds. He was getting big multi-kills to turn the tides, and then even them finishing off the job in a full eco round right at the end. Absolutely unbelievable. As we have a look at those parry match odds right at the bottom there, we see that Hellraisers, they are the favorites to win the map. Not by a massive amount, but definitely still the favorites to take Train, and that would ultimately be the favorites to take the series as well.
Tell you what, Josh, do you think that Hellraisers are going to be able to take Train, or do you see this going to a third map?
I honestly don't know. I am not in a position where I feel like I can predict it, because I think so. If I didn't watch yesterday's game, okay, and I was purely just going off of like the data that they have, I'd say 100%. I'd say, yep, they're going to be able to win Train. They have a fantastic win rate on Train. They've taken down some really, really good opponents on Train as well. We see along this list, we see Windstrike, we see Sinners, we see Espada, we see Windstrike again, SJ, Secret, Forza in that list. There's some really, really good sides that they have taken down on that map. But yesterday they got 16 forward by Budapest 5. So that's kind of that's where it just goes out of my realm, and I just say I have no idea, to be honest. I'm gonna kind of, for the sake of the broadcast, for the sake of the prediction, I'm gonna say that I think Hellraisers will take this one, and they will take the series 2-0. But I'm not set on that one. I'm not 100% sure.
Honestly, I suspect that the reason this is kind of skewered is that Budapest 5, they are very strong on a very small map pool. That map pool is Train and Nuke. Budapest 5, incredible on those two maps, which is why I think Hellraisers had a lot of difficulty with them. That being said, though, now they move on to Sangal, who this isn't one of their staple maps, but it's still a map they're good on. I suspect that for Hellraisers, this will be a chance to pull ahead. Now, for this, I want to see Hellraisers take this pistol round. Their win percentage on T side is only 49%. They really need it. And, well, Immortal, Major, and Engine all think otherwise. There's a quick 3 kills. Lime able to trade onto 1, but as he goes 2-on-4, I suspect this round may have been over before it even starts.
It's really not a great start here for Hellraisers at all, is it? Lime, for some reason, he's got a deagle, and he actually hits the first one deagle, but can't connect for any more than that. So, Sangal, at range with those USPs, it just tailors towards them, doesn't it? It's absolutely perfect. It's what they want in a scenario like that. And my fear here for Sangal is, if you remember back to yesterday when Sangal played Budapest 5 on this very map, they made some major mistakes towards the end. You could tell they seriously choked. They lost back-to-back 1v3 situations, and that's what cost them the game. So it leads to two things, because there's okay, they were confident on it, and realistically they shouldn't have lost, but also they made some major mistakes when they couldn't afford to, and if they do the same today, it will cost them the match.
Right now, Anikaz, he's just a shift on forward. Logic Man actually caught out in the corner of Ivy there. He's shut down. Kalinka finds another. Suddenly, Paz is the one who has to try and aggress and shut down everyone here. He's in a 1v1 with Flarich, who's made his location known. Immor finishes the job on him. Now the lone two members of Hellraisers have to make their way back around. It's a bit of a tough showing, and, well, nonetheless, though, we see them come out on top.
For a split second there, that was looking very, very dangerous. Kalinka, 2 snappy 1-digs. Actually gave them a 2-man advantage. Of course, instantly traded right back, though. Immor, Paz, picking up the pieces of that one quite nicely. Now it all comes down to Problem and Lime. Only the Deagles to work with. None of these weapons retrievable, but they come in from Ivy, and, well, all of the CTs are guarding this C4. So definitely an opportunity if they can hit the headshots. The Incendiary going to add complications, but there's enough time on the clock for them to wait this one out. They don't even need to deploy their smoke grenade to use it. And with a Molotov in Lime's hands, he could actually deploy it onto Immor.
Looks like he might try just that. So it's got either way. Flashes go out to try and catch some players out, as now the volley goes down. That'll actually force him all forwards. And now as both players just have to stack up, there's a boost up from Lime to try and peek over the smoke. He doesn't spot anyone just so quickly. Problem is actually able to get the bomb, though. He'll run away. He's got it. Lime able to catch out another player as well elsewhere, but Paz's rotation's perfect to finish the job. Hellraisers, they fall there, but that's damn messy by Sangal.
It absolutely is. That was actually quite comical, to be honest, watching it through our rose-tinted goggles. I can't believe that. Paz, he was the insurance policy there, and he played that round perfectly. Of course, he knows that there's these messy engagements going on in Ivy, but with such little time on the clock, he knew that the C4 had to be planted on that A bomb site to give them a little bit of extra time. And yeah, he just went and denied it. And in the meantime, look at that. The B-hop run boost from Anikaz there. That was kind of cool. He actually headbutted the sign. That would give him a headache.
Wake up with a concussion.
Yeah. You don't want to be headbutting a sign running full speed.
We don't recommend it. How fast do CS models move?
Probably quite fast. I don't know, man. Knife out, running. I wouldn't want to
It's pretty fast.
run.
Don't run with knives.
Metal pole.
Don't run with knives.
Don't run with knives. I've done it before. Gave me a concussion. Ran into a lamppost.
Oh, running with a knife. I was gonna say, wow, all right, but
No, my mum told me not to do that.
No.
I'm not allowed to. Or scissors.
Yeah, knives and scissors. That's true, real injuries in kids all the time. It's because of that.
Because I just used to run up and down the stairs with them, Kramer. I used to just grab the scissors and just run up and down the stairs.
Just toying, dancing with death.
Yeah, I was a danger kid.
Living life on the edge. Oh, for now, Engine, he's ready for these players to push on down towards B. Gonna get the first one. He's spotted out. He's not caught out, though. Instead, it's Anakin's to fall. Paz will finish the job. Flash is also left standing, and well, this round, pretty much formality. It is an eco for Hellraisers. They know it's an eco as well, so any kills bonus, but they're not expecting it. Engine will finish the job. Sangal will make it 3. Now, this is where Hellraisers really need to erupt. Hellraisers, their worst half considerably is their T side. So if they can get even just 4 or 5 rounds, they're going to be in a perfect position to move forward.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you got to remember this is the T side of train anyway. So Hellraisers, the fact that they've gone 3-0 down isn't too much of a problem. They do need to try and bounce back and claw a few rounds together, but it's not massively important. They only need a few here. And Anakin's a beautiful opening. We've seen him firing on all cylinders with his AWP all day. On Inferno, he was an absolute monster and a really integral part of Hellraiser's success. So if he can carry that across the train, especially a map like this that's quite AWP heavy, then he could be very, very dangerous.
Not only could he be dangerous, but he needs to be feared. As for now, Immort, he's taking a substantial amount of util damage as he's forced on away. And with that, Hellraisers, this is their way to push on ahead. This is their way to really show presence as Problem shuts down Paz. Elsewhere now, Immort really needs to just make some effort as he's so low on HP, he needs to just find something with this AWP. Major on green train, he may only be good for 1 right now as he tries to back away. He's caught out by Lime though. Engine to trade and, well, Sangal, they might look to lose this one fairly substantially as we see something huge from Immort. Good for 1, looking to reaggress. Anakin's catches him out though. It's all on Engine, 1 versus 3. Anakin misses his shots and Engine shows a bit of spirit as he shuts down Flarich as well, and suddenly this is a winnable round.
Engine should not be able to get away with that. Somehow he's done so. Retrieves the AWP as well. And Problem. Oh, this is not a fun position to be in. Engine is completely... The calls, any call that Hellraisers had is just in the bin because he was over towards the site with the FAMAS and now he's over towards Sandwich with an AWP, and there we go. Problem doesn't even anticipate that he could be holding that cross, and Engine comes out on top. Massive clutch, 1v3, I believe. And that puts them 4-0 and tilts the odds in their favor, Kramer.
Tell you what, those parry match odds are definitely favoring this Sangal side now. And of course, if you want to place a bet, if you think Hellraisers can come back, if you think that Sangal are going to go ahead and win this, then of course go click down on that banner below to place your bets for any of the EDC games coming up. Of course, you'll get that lovely little bonus deposit on your first deposit. So go check them out. Awesome people for making this all possible. But for the time being, it's going to be Sangal to try and hold as Hellraisers set up for a bit of a fast beat here now.
Well, the nade going over the top doesn't connect for anything, but yeah, Hellraisers just with these pistols, accompanied by a bit of Kevlar here and there. A fast B play could be exactly what they need, but with 3 defenders stacked up, they've read this one like a book. And Paz, aggressive in Pop Dog, not only is there to cut off the rotations, but also hears all of these sound cues and is relaying it all to his teammates. The only reason Logic Man's still over towards the A site is just in case the bomb's lingering and trying to get a plant. But no, it's going to be a full commitment to this B site and a tricky task for Hellraisers to get into. Oh. Well, somehow they get into it, they get the bomb planted, and a 3-on-3 situation for them to work with.
Well, now as we see Lime and Problem trying to catch out the odd member. Lime good for 1. Problem as well, take a bit of damage, but he hasn't died yet, and right now presence is all he needs. Paz eventually there to finish him, but Lime, right now, all he needs to do is show presence and catch out Immort. Paz, he's a 1-shot to this Deagle, and if he can time it to perfection, he's going to be in a perfect position. Paz finishes the job. With that, Hellraisers will topple and Sangal will get the defuse. But tell you what, though, Josh, Hellraisers did a pretty damn good job of making that close.
They absolutely did. And considering it's only a half buy, the fact that they find 3 kills and get that bomb plant is pretty fantastic. They force some reinvestments here from Sangal. And if you keep an eye on that Sangal money, you realize that despite the fact that they're 5-0 up, they've actually got 3 guys with no cash whatsoever. So Hellraisers have done a fantastic job at keeping their opponent's economy honest. They've got enough money to go for a full buy here, but they need to start converting the rounds. It's all well and good playing the economic game, but if you're not finding the frags, then there's no point. You're out of it. So Sangal still leading by 5, and that is an ambitious peak from Emor. I don't know what he was looking to achieve there, but instead he's taken 70 points of damage.
I mean, ambitious is a good way to describe it. Goes for a peak that he probably shouldn't have. He's punished for it, and I doubt we'll see him do it for the rest of the game. Reality is now, as he pushes on forward, he does have some players in the form of, well, those of Hellraisers ready to burst out from A to worry about, and every bit of HP matters. It's a flash out, Lime quick to shut down Major. That's the opening that Hellraisers desperately needed. Now they go player up, they take a moment to breathe and make sure they don't give Sangal anything.
Remember, a lot of damage done onto Emor as well. Anarkez is in a similar boat, actually pretty much on exactly the same HP. And as the nade comes in, that could be deadly, not quite. Gets him down to 14. And Paz getting aggressive towards Pop Dog, not actually going to spot anybody out, starts to fall away, realizes that this is a very dangerous position to be in, and deploys the nade, and that's going to cost him his life. 2-man advantage now for Hellraisers to work with, and they're still undecided on what site they're going to end up on. The bomb's still around about the spawn area, and as the nades rain over towards A, I think this will be the execute.
But as this execute goes on down Engine, he's there to shut out Floweret, shuts the opening that was needed, and there's not much of a response from Hellraisers. As I say that, though, Anarkez and Lime respond in unison, leaving all on Logic Man in a 1 versus 3. He's already made his presence known, and the reality is this is a situation that can be won by these players, as we saw it earlier for Sangal, but Lime has other thoughts for them. Goes 5-1 now as Hellraisers put their first on the board. Let's pull themselves in as they actually reset Sangal pretty heavily here, unless Paz and Imor look to drop.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. By the fact that Hellraisers have done as much damage as they have in all of their rounds, this is like a full reset. And look how bizarre this buy is. Sangal go for the investment. They realize that 3 players are on double eco, and it's just Emor with an AWP, Paz with an M4, and everybody else just with some pistols. So really not a lot to work with here, and they're heavily relying on Emor to go huge with this AWP to find some kind of opening and give them an opportunity. As the incendiary goes over, Lime finds the first on to Major. Paz trades it, so not a bad outcome, but that AK completely unretrievable for now.
I don't know how I feel about this spy. I won't lie, is without Engine, he's forced away. But Paz this AWP going to be on the angle. Problem, does he have the blessings of timing? He just does. But Engine on the other side of this site is just going to play hopscotch around him. Engine center site eventually caught out by Flourish. This will trigger the full push, and Paz, he's got to save this AWP, surely.
Yeah, he absolutely has to. And if they can save, oh, to be honest, it would just be 2 rifles amidst an eco in the next, so it doesn't even really do too much. I'm not a big fan of this buy either. I mean, definitely if Emor can make some kind of crazy play like he has been, then there's an opportunity, but you can't rely entire rounds on one man. And
absolutely,
yeah, it's just not worked out whatsoever. Had they have just kept their money, maybe spent it to drop a few pistols, we'd have an even economy and we'd have a full buy in the next for Sangal. Instead, it's going to go 5-2 and likely 5-3 as Hellraisers. They're starting to find their groove here on train.
And as you mentioned, as Hellraisers start to find their groove, this is starting to be a bit scary for Sangal. They're already a map down. They move on to Hellraisers' home territory, and Hellraisers, they have a significantly higher win rate. They have a 70 or 57% win rate on CT, and their T side only 49. So all of their rounds are made up for on the CT side. Every round Hellraisers find on this T side is so detrimental to Sangal. Whereas Sangal on the flip side, all of their strength is in their CT side. 59% win rate on CT rounds. So if they can't really scrape it together right now and look to make this side convincing, they're going to be in a lot of trouble as Hellraisers go to that CT side.
They absolutely will be. They need to make sure that they have a real dominant first half. And, well, off of the back of the 5-0 start, I think that's what they were shaping up towards. But as Hellraisers start to pull it back, it's looking increasingly unlikely. And Flourish, 2 snappy headshots. That's fantastic. Emor's able to trade it. And Sangal, considering this is an eco with just an AWP in the midst, it's definitely being kept nice and contentious. But if Major drops, then it's a 1-on-3 for Emor, and Major has absolutely nothing to work with and a very, very tricky task.
But Major, information might be enough. It might just be enough, but for the most part, Problem will just deploy a smoke and a back away. Right now, Sangal, fully rotated. They gamble stacked this B site. It's the wrong site. They turn their attention towards A now. As smokes go down, Util goes out. And if Emor can't go huge, they're going to be in a world of hurt.
Well, Major coming in from behind. He's gone incognito so far, but of course it's being watched. Problem would certainly eliminate him if he comes down, and it really does come down to him here. As you say, needs to go big. Anticipates that there might be one in Ivy. Hits the flick. It's absolutely perfect. Now they know where he's posted, and with 30 seconds on this clock, they can start to press towards the site. They need to clear Major, though. Throws in the Molotov, forces him right back. That eliminates any threat that he could pose. But with time ticking away, they need to take care of Emor. They absolutely do, and that's pretty much all said and done. Major can't get anything done with just the pistol. Actually lands a dink, but yeah, not getting any more than that. Hellraisers, it's an expensive one, but it's a round win, and I'm sure they'll be relieved that they were able to tip it over the top.
As I mentioned, they only need 4, 5, 6 rounds. Every round they take, no matter the damage done to them, is a good round to take. And for Sangal, they move to a buy. It's shaky at that. There's limited utility. There's only M4s around the board. None of them have head armor. And more importantly, none of them have money. There's going to be about 50 on all of the players around the board. Emor and Engine with 150. That's nothing. And if Hellraisers win this, Sangal are going to be in a really tough spot. Paz lines up 2, though, and that's just the opening they require. As they back away, Anikes does trade onto 1, though.
I mean, what do you do against Anikes in a round like this where there's no AWP to contend? Anikes has got his dancing shoes on and he's tearing the defense apart, but all of his teammates have fallen. Now he's in a 1-on-3, well, a 1-on-4, now a 1-on-3, and as he's being spammed away from behind, needs to hit the flick. They're coming in from all angles, and I think he's accepted his fate at this point, realised that there's no chance of this clutch, and Paz is able to eliminate him. So that's unfortunate. Anikes does hit a couple of really nice shots in that round, but they just crumble, and as we see these power match odds come up once again, there we go, dead even, despite the fact that Sangal are on 6 rounds, they're leading 6-3. Remember, as you've said so many times, Hellraisers, they heavily favor that CT side, so the odds are dead even. And remember, if you fancy either of these two teams and you want to place a bet on it, make sure you click on that banner below, head over to Paramatch and place your bets there. When you sign up, you'll get a special first-time deposit bonus. As we come into round number 10 then, a little bit of early preliminary damage dealt onto Emor. This time round, they've got an AWP to work with. It's on Logic Man. And Emor's actually only down to a scout.
I'm not sure if you saw that at the start, but Emor, he was boosted up towards Connector. Anikes wall-banged him to force him away. So that's an opening and a half. Anikes is able to find Logic Man elsewhere. Major, he'll make his location known as he trades onto Lime, though. Anikes are trying to catch the player as they back away. Unable to do so for the time being, as the molly will force him back. But Hellraisers, they continue this push towards these positions. It's a lovely shot from Emor there as Kalinka falls, and now the response has to come through from Pop Dog. That it does. Flourish good for 1. Paz trying to hold. It's Flourish now. Does he make it 2? That he does. He doubles up. Looks for more. Elsewhere, Engine spotted out by Anikes. He's unable to get the kill, though. And with that molly being dropped, Flourish finds himself in a very tough spot.
It's just so messy. Massive whiff from Major, and then Anikes just darting over towards the B site. Certainly not expecting that advanced position from Engine. An opportunity here for Flourish to get this one done. Really does all come down to timing. Engine kind of outmaneuvered him a little bit here. Flourish seems to be aware of it. In fact, he's got a perfect read on the situation. Once again, it just comes down to timing. 25 seconds left on this clock. And Engine, I think he's quite confused right now. He's sitting there thinking, is Flourish really just sitting in the ramp?
He might be doubting himself right now, and he doubts himself. He turns away, but Flourish doesn't quite react after spotting him. Sangal, they make it 7 as they look to pull ahead and make it at least a convincing half. As Hellraisers, they call their first timeout before going into what I assume would be pistols and armor. And for the most part, Sangal, now that they've got their buy sorted, they are getting a bit of economy rolling. For Hellraisers, I do want to see something fast. Maybe a fast dive towards Ivy like we saw earlier, or something fast towards B, because we know that Engine likes that aggression towards B upper.
You're all about the rushes, aren't you, Kremer? That's
They're
if you're an
effective.
IGL, you should be like, go quick, team.
You know what's funny? When I was an IGL, I used to love the slow strats. It was a slow strat, and my AWP would always be as like in mid control. So it'd be mid control, as for a train especially. We would just do nothing for like a good 40 seconds looking for a pick. But now Mikasa is like, rush this. Why not?
Just
Why
want to
aren't
get
you
it
rushing,
over
guys?
and done with. It's like,
Yeah,
come on,
just
go
rush.
quick.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it could work, yeah, because Orbers, they struggle under pressure.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Emor, he does seem to thrive under pressure on many occasions, hitting those close range shots and getting aggressive right now. Logic Man, oh my, that is a snappy 1D from Anakin.
Wow.
What the hell is that?
Okay.
He pre-fired through the corner of the wall and dinked Major down to 20. That is unreal.
Well, Major, he seems to have sorted that problem. He's able to trade with that Tech 9 for Paz, just taps it back into the favor of Sangal. Again, looks scary for a moment, but something to highlight as well. There's B control established significantly for Hellraiser right now, but they don't have the bomb. And Flarex right now, he's in a race with Immor to try and find this bomb.
My jaw still dropped from Anakez's Deagle shots, to be honest. That's unfortunate. Flarich just dropping right there. But yeah, I mean, it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. This was just kind of like a half buy. We see a couple of Deagles come out. So it's unfortunate that they didn't carry the bomb with them. I really want to see this replay. I don't think we're going to see a replay, Kremer. Oh, I'm gutted. All right,
so.
we'll get to see a Hellcase banner instead. So if you want to head over to Hellcase, make sure you use that code on screen, and head over there. They've got plenty to choose from, loads of cases, lots of new content every month. It's constantly updated. It's a great website, so make sure you head over there and yeah, use that code on screen to get yourself a nice little bonus. As we come into round number 12, then Sangal still in the driver's seat, and Hellraisers. Now they've got some weapons to work with. Let's see if they can try and claw away around. That's a nice opening. Doesn't quite find the kill, but a lot of damage dealt onto the sniper of Emor.
Logic Man teasing a peek as well. Unable to catch out anything for the time being. There was a nade lands right next to Paz, but he's able to get away in time. Elsewhere, Logic Man might even tease aggression towards Ivy. Flash goes out, he catches out the first through the swing, he lines up two, looking to line up three as Anikes takes a substantial amount of damage, but he stays swinging. Nathan to force him away, and it does just that. Through the swing, he can't quite find Logic Man, and with that, Sangal may have just cemented a round within the first 40 seconds.
Absolutely. Problem does respond with a nice headshot, but still 4-on-3. Tons of damage dealt here to Hellraisers and the C4 down in Ivy. That grenade is absolutely perfectly placed. Lands at the feet of Anikes. Eliminates any threat that he might pose once that smoke's dissipated. Emor, oh, that's a dangerous one. I saw him flick up and got excited for a second, but no, can't connect it. 3 versus 2. 40 seconds left to tick on this clock, but there's 2 defenders posted on this C4 on Ivy, and this is going to be very, very difficult to penetrate.
Lime shifting forward. It's got this first player to worry about of Major, but actually the timing isn't quite there. Instead, Logic Man scoped on in. If he misses this shot, I'll be very surprised. And well, the bomb's retrieved. He'll try to pressure down Lime, able to do so. It's all on Problem in a 1 versus 3.
A Problem looking to try and get it done with only 10 seconds on the clock. Retrieves the AWP, goes for the swing, and gets punished. Logic Man, couple of nice shots. In fact, 4 kills from him. Remember, he was the one that spammed through the smoke initially. Very, very nice round there from Sangal. Gets them onto 9. And realistically, Hellraisers could do with a couple more here. Kind of the whole way along, we've been saying, oh, it's okay. They only really need like 5 rounds to have a good half. But
now they need 5.
yeah, now they need 5. Now they actually need to step up and maybe not win this round with the Deagles, but in the next buy, they have to convert it. And they have to follow up from there. Otherwise, 12-3, definitely not good enough.
Without a doubt. And as we see Lime shift on forward, he'll make his way down towards Sandwich. He's got Paz to worry about, and well, Logic Man as well, as Anikes will shift forward. He'll try to do the odd bit of damage, but nothing's caught out just yet. Instead, Major jumping up on top of this bomb site, looking to ring out a few shots wherever possible as he finds Flarich. Elsewhere, you see a few nades go out either way. Problem just trying to make his way closer towards this site. Won't spot anything for the time being. That it's all on Kalinka. He'll be toppled, and as he's felled, Sangal looks to hit those double digits. They make it 10, and now it's 10-3. They might look to pull ahead and make this a bit one-sided.
Well, this is just quite bizarre. I mean, we are seeing a bit of a repeat of yesterday against Budapest 5, and I don't get it, because it's not like the statistics are based off of games that were back in December or something, and therefore now they're a bit rusty on train. Their recent results and their recent good results have literally been over the last couple of weeks. It just seems like the last 2 days, they've really, really been struggling here on train, and this is kind of a must-win round for them. If they lose it, they'll have no money in the next. Sangal should be able to get themselves onto 12, and that is like a ridiculous half, especially considering it's Hellraiser's map pick. And then you'd be starting off on this T side. Logic Man, holding Ivy once again. He got 4k in the last. It was an unpenetrable defense. This time around, Hellraisers look to try and punish him.
Logic Man slowly shifting forward and to catch out the odd man. He can't quite do so just yet, as no one dare peek him, but well-timed flash could play to his detriment right now. Smoke goes down, set piece goes out, mollies go forward. That forces him back, actually, and so attempts to go back and take a bit of dash through that molly, just to tickle him for his presence. And the Hellraisers, they continue to spread out around the map. They're ready for this just execution towards A, but in this lull, Sangal seem to have rotated all the way around. It's going to be a 4-man setup, and right now that's something to fear if you're on that side of Sangal.
Well, Hellraisers have taken the Ivy control, but it's taken them a minute to do so, and now they're kind of funneled in between these smokes. The flash comes through and passes with the 3. It's absolutely flawless, and you just can't fault it at all. Sangal's defense is absolutely flawless. And there we go, Emor following up with 2 more. 4 players stay alive there for Sangal, and Hellraisers, they get completely crushed.
This is such a tough position to be in if you are on the side of Hellraisers. Of course, we look at the parry match odds. They now swing heavily in favor of Sangal, pretty much 5-1. And, well, if you are on Sangal, this is a nice position to be in. Of course, if you want to go bet on this match or any other match in the EDC, go click on that banner below and get your special first-time bonus reward, your first-time deposit.
And it's definitely an interesting one. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit too far gone here for Hellraisers to recover. But with those odds being so one-sided, after we know that Hellraisers massively prefer their CT side, there's definitely an opportunity for a comeback, especially if they can take this 4th. As they push into the B site, they take these early engagements, 2-man advantage, make it 3,
wow,
make it 4,
okay.
as Major, all left on his lonesome. And this round has taken a horrible, horrible turn. He gets a nice little spray transfer right at the end, but that is it. I mean, Lime, he's had a pretty good half. Everybody else lacking a little. Sangal, 11-4. I mean, that's fantastic. That really, really is. But they need to make sure that they carry it across into this T side.
Where was that when they needed it? For now, it's going to be a bit of a pause coming out from Sangal. Technical one at that, just to figure out what to do next. But I'll tell you what, Josh. If you're on the side of Hellraisers, is this enough?
I don't know. Probably not. But if they take the pistol and they can follow up with it as well, then I think definitely. I think if they lose a pistol, all said and done. But if they can win the pistol, they win a couple of follow-up rounds, then yeah, I think they have got a really good chance. And do you know what that last round was, Kremer? Do you know what that last round was?
What's that?
They were listening to you. They listened to Coach Kremer. They were like, hold on, what are the casters saying? And then, oh, I don't even know how to say the coach's name. TSAGA? How do you say that?
TSAGA?
Yeah, that's Hellraisers' coach.
Dagger?
Daiga? Yeah, I suppose. Saiga, yeah.
Saiga, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go see what the casters are saying. And and then he hears you say, they should try something fast. And he goes, that's a good idea.
Yep, give that a try.
Give that a try. Go fast B, guys. And it works out beautifully.
So, there you go. Coach Kremer. If you want to go
Coach
contact me, Twitter, Twitter.com @Kremer32. I'll coach your team. But elsewhere, what do you think Hellraisers go for now? As we've seen back-to-back technical pauses from either side at this point, so it's universal TeamSpeak issues.
Yeah, I don't know why we still use TeamSpeak. It's like ancient stuff. I don't like TeamSpeak. I'm gonna be one of those guys. It's a
We are in TeamSpeak
unpopular
as we speak,
opinion.
Josh.
I don't care, Kremer. I don't like it.
You don't like it. Well, here's the thing. TeamSpeak has a higher bitrate for voices.
Yeah.
So, because we're casters, we kind of need that.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying someone should make a new software, right? It's like a real gap in the market for
You heard of
something that's
Mumble?
for... I have heard of Mumble, yeah, but nobody uses it. I don't know anybody that uses Mumble.
We could put in a word with Fantasy Expo, see if we can get it to switch to Mumble.
Yeah, just say, yeah, Mumble. Something with like a modern interface. It looks nice. It doesn't look like it was made for Windows 96, and something that like also has high quality audio. That's what I want. That is what I want. And if that's what Mumble is, then let's use that.
I'll tell you
And
what,
let's get
Josh.
players to use that as well.
I tell you what, Josh. Do you use the male voice or the female voice for TeamSpeak?
I use the female voice. I didn't know you could change it.
You can change it to a male voice. It's a very deep guy. It's actually quite disturbing how deep his voice is.
I'll stick with the female then.
Oh, okay, right. It's interesting because usually there's a bit of a. I'm going to put a poll up at some point because it's quite interesting. What else is interesting though is this pistol round. Going ahead, it's going to be Hellraisers to go for early pop dog control in the form of Lime, whereas Sangal, with just a little bit of utility on engine, looks to just explode out towards this B site.
That seems to be the plan, but they're waiting patiently. They've got 2 flashbangs and a smoke to work with, so expect that smoke to be deployed towards the bottom of ramp, maybe even connector. The flashes to pop over the top and them to go for the execute. Instead, they're actually used for a bit of a fake. Smoke goes towards connector, flashes go as a fake towards A, and it keeps Hellraisers guessing as Sangal, they burst right into this site. Hellraisers need to connect the headshots, and for now, they're not hitting anything.
And because he's wiped as his problem, I'll tell you what, 11-4 down, you damn well need that pistol round. As Kalinka, he needs to go huge right now, but Sangal, they're not even giving him anything at this point. Lime on the flank. Does he spot out Immol? Yes, he does. He finishes the job on him, but elsewhere, Injin's able to find Kalinka. Flourish now, able to try and help out, able to try and do his bit, but as Major comes out on top, Flourish is left in a 1v2, and, well, Paz, they'll finish the job. Sangal, they pull ahead, they prevail as they now lead 12-4 against Hellraisers. I'll tell you what, Josh, Hellraisers seem to have forgot how to play train.
They actually do. They actually do need to go back to the drawing board. After yesterday, you can say, okay, it was just a one-off. The team can kind of say, yeah, that didn't go very well. It was just a one-off performance. We still want to play train. After today, unless they can pull this back, they absolutely need to go back to the drawing board and rework their train and watch these matches and work out what's going wrong in them, because this is honestly horrendous. For your own map pick in a game where you're the favorite and you've just beat your opponents on their pick, this is such a terrible showing. And if Hellraisers don't win this force buy round, I think they're probably out of this one. I think they've lost it, and we'll be looking at the map 3.
I agree, and it's just scary. It's horrifically scary if you are over that side of Hellraisers, because this was your CT side is meant to be your bread and butter. This is meant to be where you pull ahead and you respond, but Sangal are just shutting them down no matter where they show. And for the most part now, Sangal looks to explode into a bit of a default, starting up with Ivy control, but we haven't seen anything just yet.
Yeah, we see a lot of nades deployed, a little bit of preliminary damage, minute left on this clock, but no gunfights. I don't think a single weapon has been fired. As Sangal, they have 2 players on the other side of their smoke towards Ivy. They haven't shown themselves just yet. I think they're hoping to cause a little bit of a distraction. They're keeping Hellraisers busy for now. 3 players posted on that angle, but 2 still on this B site. And with the Deagles in hand, they're certainly deadly. MP9 up close towards ramp, and Flarich on the other side of this smoke, waiting for it to dissipate, waiting to do some damage. They need to keep an eye on this C4, though, and they need to keep an eye on the clock. There's only 25 seconds left to tick.
Yeah, all good for 1. Logic Man and Engine both respond in unison, and it's an absolute collapse. It's the worst case scenario for Hellraisers as it all falls down to Lime, stuck towards E-Box at a 1 versus 4. He's just going to go save the seal. He's got no other choice. Sangal, as they make it 13 now, look like they're absolutely about to take this map in such a one-sided fashion.
And I'm not sure if Hellraisers actually play this properly and eco and allow Sangal on to 14 and then entertain the idea of a 12-round comeback, a 12-round flawless comeback as well. Or, oh, what just happened there? Oh, okay, he did actually get killed before he dropped. That was kind of cool. Or whether they actually just continue to force here because they know that they haven't really got a lot of hope in this one. We will have to wait and see. For now, it looks like they're going to go for the eco, but I'm constantly pranked by these teams where they force buy in the last second.
I know. Who force buys after time starts? Like, it's
actually like a big mistake because it means that you get out of spawn late and therefore get to your angles late. But it seems to happen all the time.
It makes me think as well that it's because teams don't really know, they don't know what strat to go for. We see that as a bombing attack. That Zeus unable to come out on top though, as it falls down to a 4-on-2 now. Flarich and Annika as the last 2 members are standing, making their way on forward. Logic Man shuts down Flarich. It's all on Annika as 1 versus 4. And with that, it's going to be a tough ask.
Man, I got really excited when I saw the flash and the Zeus. I really did.
I know you like your Zeus kills, Josh.
It just makes the game fun.
It makes you happy, does it?
Makes me happy. Yeah, there's like a little spark in me that just goes, whoa, whenever someone gets a Zeus kill.
Yeah.
Not a lot else going on in the Emin life at the moment, bro. So Zeus kills, it's just that little fix that I need.
Your Zeus fix.
Yeah, man. And I haven't seen one in a few days. I'm getting a bit shaky. I'm getting twitchy thumbs.
Well, hopefully, you never know. Hopefully, he'll come out on top. It's Anikes 1 versus 4 now. We'll have to see how he fares. We'll have to see how he holds for the most part. As right now, he'll sit on the angle. He'll await maybe the old Sangal exit to try and come out on top. But I'll tell you what, Josh, Hellraisers have picked this map, and well, they seem to have made their beds, and well, now they have to lie in it as Sangal lead 14-4 in what's going to be a horrifically one-sided game.
Absolutely. And I think that anything that Hellraisers find at this point is probably just like, I don't want to say delaying the inevitable. That sounds like really negative. But do I see them pulling back 12 rounds in a row? No. So on that basis, maybe I could see them coming back with a couple of rounds here. They could certainly convert this and claw back a few, make this scoreline a little bit more respectable. But realistically, they've let this one go too far. And Sangal, they've got all the confidence built up. The early pick coming in from Logic Man gives them this man advantage. Further damage dealt onto Flareich as well in Pop Dog. And Sangal, once again, are just in full control of the situation. They've got an AWP posted on Ivy. They've taken Brown Halls. They've got a main. And they've taken the Connector man as well. So they've actually got a full sightline onto Connector and can watch for the rotations. Within seconds of the round, they're in full control.
Hellraisers look to hold. It looks like Sangal are going to go for the Pop Dog dive in just a moment, which puts it really all on Flareich. Logic Man is still maintaining his angle towards Connector to make sure that no one gets a bit too ambitious with their peek. As Earball shuts down Flareich, it falls straight down to a 2. Well, now 3 on 5. Now 2 on 4. As Logic Man responds, he does it again. It's all on problem. Josh, I think Hellraisers are out of options at this point.
And you know what? If they lose this next round, which considering they don't have any money, they probably will, there's going to be back-to-back 16-4 losses on their own pick, one after the other, which is just unreal. As we see this Paramatch banner pop up, I think it might be a little bit too late to bet on this game, unless Hellraisers start to pull it back. But if you want to bet on the map afterwards, as it seems like we will be going to a map 3, or any other match in the EDC, make sure you click that banner below to head over to Paramatch, sign up, and get that first-time special deposit bonus to utilize that one while it still lasts. Sangal 15-4 match point, and this is to get them to that third and final map of Nuke. This has been an incredible showing.
Major looks to catch out the odd member, but he peeks towards backline, he spots out Anikes. He doesn't ring out a shot to fight him, though. Anikes already low on HP, probably would have lost that Angel, to be honest, as instead he holds firm. And elsewhere, Sangal, though, witness the aggression of Problem. There'll be a bit of damage done to Wibble. No response just yet. Instead, Sangal, they bode for their time. They await, and, well, as Hellraisers try to keep getting aggressive, they keep hunting for a first pick, but they just can't. And for now, Sangal look like they're about to execute towards the safe site. They look like they're going to run straight into these Hellraisers players, and this is really their chance to just pull ahead and, well, shut them down.
Almost any other time, I'd be saying, oh, they're walking into the stack. Hellraisers should be able to win this. But you know what? They have just not been hitting their shots at all today. Flareich taps through with the FAMAS, but in the meantime, 2 of his teammates drop. He can't convert onto the second and the firepower. There's just a major disparity here on Train. Sangal have been firing on all cylinders, and Hellraisers haven't been able to get anything done. Problem in Kalinka, last alive with just a FAMAS and a scout, and not for much longer as Major lines them up. Finishes off the job. It's 16-14, and as I said before, back-to-back, not 16-14, 16-4.
Even worse, Josh, even worse.
That's back-to-back 16-4 losses as well.
I think that map is going to swiftly leave Hellraiser's map pool because that right there was horrific. Sangal, like, absolutely stomp Hellraisers. They are vehemently against Hellraisers, making it a 2-0 victory. And with that, they propel us to a third map of Nuke. And, well, frankly, if there was anything to witness based on this map, I say Sangal go into this next map as heavy favourites.
Definitely, yeah. I think that when you look at the statistics and whatnot, there's definitely a chance that Hellraisers bounce back. We saw them yesterday kind of have a little bit of a shaky time on Train, and then they pulled it back afterwards. So when it comes to mental resilience and confidence and whatnot, it's something that Hellraisers, they're super experienced, and they've been a core roster for a very long time. So I don't think that they're two-phased. I think that they're quite capable of recovering from a bad loss like that and going into the next game with a fresh mindset. However, yeah, they were looking pretty weak there on train. Yeah, they were losing their angels, they were getting out positioned, outmaneuvered, and that's going to boost the confidence of Sangal. And I think the Sangal are quite an emotional team. I think Sangal are a side that when the highs are high, they're playing insane and they're super confident. And when their lows are low and they're not playing very well, then it really, really does kind of beat them down. But whilst they're up, they might actually just be able to completely steamroll Nuke as well. We'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see. And with that, we go to a quick little break. When we return, we'll see if Sangal can go ahead and prevail, or if Hellraisers are going to have their shot of redemption at Nuke. Don't go anywhere.
Headshot, nice. Fist bombs go to the